welcome to another episode of Astral Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Alright, can you dig it? Check it out. Today, I am going to show you how to change the front left wheel bearing, and some call it a hub assembly because it comes with the bearing, it comes with the hub, you put the tire on, all that together on a 2014 Chevy Impala. Now, if you recall, we got another video where we did on this vehicle, we did the right side. So check that video out in case you're looking to do the right side. But today, we're going to do the left. All right, let's get right to it. Jack it up, get it up on the jack stand, and I'm going to show you that because safety is important. All right, we'll be right back. All right, the first thing we're going to do is take off the tire. Now, this one's got a wheel lock on it, so you don't have to worry about that. But the lugs are either, you're going to be using a 19 millimeter or a 3/4. And I'm going to be using a 19 millimeter deep impact with my earthquake gun. Let's get the wheel lock off first. Okay, now let's get the rest of the lugs off. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is, let's go over here to the other side. You see this tie rod right here? Let's get this jacket out of here so you can see this. You see this tie rod? We need to get that out of there. So we got a nut right up under here. And let's see here. Okay, that's an 18 millimeter nut, and I'm going to be using an 18 millimeter deep impact socket, 1/2-inch drive. Also with my air gun. So let's buzz that off. And there we go. Now, there's two ways of taking out this tie rod. You can either get a fork to go in there, but you don't want to do that because you can mess up the boot right here and then the grease come out. So what I like to do is a system called shock and awe. I get a big hammer and I hit it right there on that spindle part, and that hit me, shock it so much that the outer tire will go, oh, it just popped right out of there. So let me go get that and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna back the camera up a little bit here. And what I got is a big hammer. I love this hammer. One side has got a rubber on it, and the other side is solid steel. So what I'm gonna do is take it, pops right out just like that. Then I'm gonna take the nut that I took off and I'm gonna just put it up there on a couple threads, just so I don't lose that. Now we're almost ready to go. The next thing we're gonna do is, let's go back over this side. Now we gotta take off this axle nut too. So what you're gonna get is a 33 millimeter socket. Yeah, that's a big socket. So I got a 33 millimeter impact 1/2-inch drive. Put it right up there. And I'm gonna buzz that off. All right, there it is. Put that to the side. Now, let's turn our wheel all the way to the, matter of fact, let's turn it all the way to the left, because now what we got to do is let's take off the caliper. And let's see here. Okay, we got two 13 millimeter bolts. Let's back it up a little bit. Get a good look at this. We got one right there and one right there. So I got a 13 millimeter deep socket, 3/8 drive, and what I'm going to use here is my reducer, 1/2-inch down to 3/8. Hook that on, so in that way I can use my impact gun. Now I'm not going to do this to go back on, but get those two bolts out. All right, got them two out. Wiggle our caliper out. Let's hang our caliper up there for a minute, and then we're going to put our bolts back in there just like that. So in that way, we know exactly where they're at. Alright, the next step is, let's see here what size these bolts are. Okay, we got two 15mm bolts. One right there and one right there. And it's going to take off the caliper bracket. Alright, so I got my 15mm deep socket, 1/2" drive. Get my air gun. Okay, take the bolts out. Take our caliper bracket off. And what we're going to do here is put our bolts back in there. Just a couple threads. So that way we don't lose them and we know exactly where they go. And both bolts are the same size, so you don't have to worry about that. Alright, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to get us a piece of wire so we can hang this caliper up, because you don't want the caliper to hang down on that brake hose. Alright, so we'll be right back. Alright, what I'm going to do here, got a little mechanics wire. You can use any kind of wire. You can bungee cord it, anything. And what I'm going to do is stick it right into here. Twist that a little bit. And then, you see our coil spring up here? I'm going to pick our caliper up and I'm going to wrap that onto one of the coil springs. So, and that's going to keep this out of the way. Okay, as you can see, I got it. So now our caliper out of the way. It's hanging on. Everything's out of the way. Now you should be able to move the. It looks like it's not going to move the axle in a little bit. There it is. So that's going to give you a little access to get to those bolts a little bit better. So let's turn it back to the. Let me hook that thing up better. Right back. Okay, got that hooked up. Now let's get this rotor off. And to get this rotor off, it's held on by a little bit of bolt, a little bitty bolt here. That's a T30 Torx. Now yours might not be up there. They might have eliminated it, took it off. Okay, so what I got here is a T30 Torx, and I got my reducer again, 1/2" to 3/8. I am losing my air gun, like quick work. Okay, rotor comes off, and I'm gonna leave that bolt right inside there. I'm gonna move that to the side, and now we're ready to remove the hub assembly. Now what you're going to do is get you a 13mm deep socket. This is like a 3/8 drive. And what I'm going to use here, get this out of the way, use my reducer, 1/2" to 3/8. And I'm going to get me a 1.5" extension. 1.5" 1/2" drive extension. Why, you may ask? Alright, let's go over here. And here we are in the back. The first thing we're going to do is, you see how it unplugs right there? That little tab will just come down and unplug. Just like that. Alright? Now, the sensor hooks up right to here. So that's what you have to do, squeeze those little tabs in. Let's get a pair of vice grips and or needle nose. We're going to squeeze those little tabs in and separate that from that. And then, while it's over here to the side, while it's over to this side, we're going to go and get this one bolt right there. Okay? Be right back. Alright, here we go. Let's get our needle nose, and we're going to squeeze that in, pop that right out, just like that. And pay attention, notice how the wire is going up to the top, so we put that new bearing back. Alright, let's go over here. Here's our setup. Again, 13mm deep, 3/8 drive, reducer, 1/2" to 3/8, and a 1.5" extension. And you can see right there how it hooks up right there. And let's get our air gun. That's one. It's kind of tight because you can see it's got like Loctite on it. Okay, now we're going to do, push it all the way to the left. All right, and now we got one bolt right here, and there's one right up in there. And that's why I had you push this axle back as much as you can, so you can get just enough clearance. See that? To get to that bolt. And then you need that extension. And if you have to, get another extension up there to get that out. So let's set you up right here. I'm going to use my air gun. Let's get that bolt out. Okay. Number two. Now for that bottom one. You notice my hub assembly is starting to come out. Okay, here we go. Let's turn it just so you can see it, and it just pops right off. And you see I got our sensor wire up here going to the top. So just move that axle out of the way and get that right out. Now pay attention to that backing plate. Make sure you put it the same way as it on right now. So let's go get our new sensor, new hub bearing, and we'll be right back. Alright, here's our new bearing right here. And if you notice, see the clip right here? And you see the clip that's on the old one? Look in your box and you're going to see, they're going to give you the new clip to match that. So what we're going to do is get a screwdriver and pop that off. Let's get you focused down on this. Alright. What I got is a flat tip screwdriver. And I just want to pop that thing off of here. Because we don't need that no more. Alright, the next thing you're going to do is open up the bag. Get your new clip. And you can look at the other one as a reference. See how it is? So we know that we're going to be hooking this up just into there. And there's a slot right inside there. So just slide that into the slot and then snaps right into place. Right there, and we're good to go. Now let's get our backing plate. Put it on the same way the old one was. Alright, let's get this back up here. Now you want to make sure, remember our sensor was facing towards the top. We want to make sure we get our sensor in there. There we go. Fits right in there. Okay. Now let's put this up on our axle and twist it a little bit. Perfect. This thing twisted. Why do it feel like, there we go, that's how that's supposed to go. No, it don't. That's weird because if the caliper sets right there, what the heck? I should have just left it alone. Where's our bolts at? Make sure I got that right too, because that don't look right. Don't look right at all. I ain't a happy camper. Be right back. Okay, I got my bolts. And yeah, I did have this thing twisted right. Because the sensor goes toward the top. And there we go. Lined up just like that. And then we're in. Alright. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to flip it, turn it all the way to the left. And what we're going to do is go in here. We're going to get our bolt holes lined up. There's our bolts right there. Bolt holes. We're going to get one right there. And then we're going to put the one at the top in there. And I notice I just stuck them in there. I didn't do nothing to them. Because what I'm going to do now is make sure I got our bearing lined up and all. And I want to start putting these in just by a little bit of threading. A couple threads, make sure it grabs and doesn't cross thread. Okay? And what I might have to do is use my socket and all to get in here and get this one lined up. Okay, then I'm going to turn it and get our third one lined up. And get that in by a couple threads. Now that I got everything pretty much in there, let's get ready to tighten this thing up. So I'm going to turn my gun to tightening. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to tighten them all up yet. I just want to bring it in more than what it is. Just like that. Just like that. And then turn it. And get this one now. Let me show you. You can see I got that. This is the one I got it started by hand. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten that one up. Okay. Then let's take this sensor wire, and go right in here, snap right into place. And make sure you just pull it over and make sure so it don't go up against that axle in any kind of way. Okay. Then we can go ahead and plug this up. Good. Now we're going to swing it to the other side and get those other two bolts tightened up. Okay. Notice you got to, just in case, push that axle back. Make sure you get enough clearance. We are looking good, guys. All right. The next thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and put our axle nut on. I want to make sure that my axle is all the way forward. 33mm socket, 1/2-inch drive. Get that tightened on. And I'm going to hold my axle forward while I'm doing this. Perfect. Perfect. All right, next we're going to put our rotor on. Now remember that this little spot right here, that's where your bolt goes, that's through your rotor. To hold that rotor into place. So you want to make sure the hole on the rotor lines up with that. Put it on. Get our 30mm Torx. Put it in there. Grab my air gun. That's right, I'm going to grab my air gun. And this air gun has 3 settings. I'm going to set it all the way to lowest speed. Going to get that in there. Perfect. Turn it all the way to the left. Now what we're going to do here is get our caliper bracket, remove our 2 bolts, 15mm bolts, slide it down. These brakes pads are kind of low, we're going to need brakes soon. Slide it down, get our bolt started. Okay. 15mm deep impact socket. Turn the pressure up on my gun again. Perfect. All right, the next thing we're going to do, make sure our brake pads is right up against the rotor. And this is a good time to make sure your backing plate is not rubbing up against the rotor. Make sure it didn't bend while you're removing everything, and everything looks good. Now we're going to unhook our caliper. Take our bolts out, our 2 13mm bolts. Slide it down. Put our 13mm bolts back in. Start them off by hand. Okay. 13mm deep socket. Our reducer 1/2 inch to 3/8. Put my gun midway. Tighten them up. Turn the wheel a little bit, back and forth to make sure the backing plate, nothing's hitting, everything looking good. Let's get our wire from out of here. We don't want this rubbing up against anything, cause any problems. Okay. Then I'm gonna go back around to the side here. Take the nut off the tie rod. Put it into the spindle. Put it on. Now what you want to do here, especially if you don't have air tools at this part, what you want to do is you want to use a pry bar, and you want to put the pry bar up under the axle, up under the frame, to put pressure down on this tie rod while you're tightening up the nut, or it will spin inside there. But being that I'm using the air gun, I can just hold it down, and it's turning so fast that it's going to grab it. Perfect. Done. Just that quick. All right, let's get this tire on and we'll be right back. All right, let's lift this car down. And I don't know if I showed you guys, but this is how I got it jacked up and all. And you see this, I'm on the grass. So every time I'm on soft ground or grass or something, I use me a base. Then I got the jack stand up under there. All right, pretty easy job. Pretty easy job. We'll be right back.
Okay, you guys just watched the video on doing a hub assembly. This is the left side front hub assembly on a 2014 Chevy Impala. I'm getting deja vu. Oh yeah, no, that was the right set. Okay. But anyway, if you guys have any questions or comments, you can post them down below in the comments section. Or you can email Timmy at tim@astralautorepairs.com.
Timmy!
Hey, you guys notice every time he does his intro, you don't see me, you don't hear me, but when I'm doing my clothes, he always got to stick in his little,
you can do
little
that
voice in there.
Hey, you can bother me if you want. You did it before. You used to go, sup?
Sup?
You see?
You got to say it right. Okay. Sup? Anyway, or you can email him. But you guys, hope you paid attention. If not, watch it again. And if we can't repair it, nobody can. See you next time.